Hello and welcome to Lesson 2 of How to Play Piano Chords. In Lesson 1 we learned about the arpeggio, and you learned how to play this. So make sure to review that video if you're not sure how to play the arpeggio. Now today we are going to take this arpeggio playing a little bit further. We also learned in last lesson that we have the C note and then D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. We noticed that if you learn the C note right before the set of twos, you can actually play any C note on the piano. They are all the same. And that's the same for the D note, which is in between the set of two black keys, which is going to be up here, and the E note, and the F note, and so on. What we're going to do today is take our C arpeggio that we learned, and we are going to apply that to each note. We're going to start on C, go to D, E, F, G, A, B, and then C. And by doing this, we are going to unlock a bunch of different chords. So, the first chord is the C chord. Now, what I would like you to do is have your fingers simply shift over, and I want to make sure that every finger is on a white key. Make sure to keep the fingers curved. We don't want the wrist too high or too low. And now we are in this new position where the thumb is going to play on the D. Once we are set, then we can play D, and then finger 3 on F, and then finger 5. So we are still playing finger 1, 3, 5 to create the arpeggio, except now we are just in a new position. I'm going to call this D position. We were in C position, and we played C, E, G, or 1, 3, 5. Now we're shifting over to D position and playing 1, 3, 5 again. So it still creates an arpeggio when you use those fingers. Then we're going to shift over a little bit more, and now we're going to be what we call E position. Finger 1 is on the E, and you will create the arpeggio using finger 1, 3, 5. So we've unlocked a new chord. You probably know where I'm going to go from here. Yep, shifting over, start on F, go to A, C. Shift over again, G, B, D, shift over again, 1, 3, 5, shift over again, 1, 3, 5. And we'll do one more, shift over, and end on. And that, of course, is our C arpeggio. Okay, so we've played C arpeggio, D arpeggio, E arpeggio, F, G, A, B, C. Whew. Do you think you can do that exactly as I did it? I think you can do it. You may have noticed a little trick that I was doing as I was performing that. Maybe you didn't, but I'm going to show you anyway. Here we go. So as I play the C arpeggio, notice how my thumb is getting over and in position to play the D. Once I play the D, then all of the fingers get set into place to play the next pattern of 1, 3, 5. And I continue to do that so that my thumb is constantly moving to get to the next key. If you can practice through that, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Something else you might be noticing is I am dropping down on the first note of each arpeggio. So drop, 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 this is going to help gain some really good piano technique. So, practicing through that would be great to do this week so that you can play without stopping. You have actually unlocked a bunch of different chords or arpeggios. Remember, an arpeggio is a broken up chord. A chord is simply when we play all 3 notes together at the same time. You can also call a chord when you have just 2 notes at the same time. But we are going to be working on 3 notes at the same time. Playing 3 notes at the same time can be a little difficult, so that's why we're starting with arpeggios. We're starting to build our ability to play chords. So now we are getting exposed to these different arpeggios, or chords. This one is a C major arpeggio. This one is a D minor arpeggio, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, and a B diminished. What does all that mean? Well, no worries. We're not going to worry about that quite yet. We are going to dive into that in some other lessons, where we learn about what all this major and minor stuff means. But for now, let's actually look at the left hand. I'm not going to spend too much time on this left hand because it's basically the same thing. But the fingers are going to be different. In lesson 1, we learned that instead of playing finger 1 for the C for the left hand, we need finger 5 to play the C, so that finger 3 can play the E and finger 1 can play the G. We are going to do the exact same thing that we did with the right hand. C, E, G, then D, and notice how my finger 5 is getting ready to play the next note. Practicing the hands separately is super important. And then putting them together is the next thing to try out. Go slow if you must. You want to make sure that you play them at the exact same time. Drop, 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 drop. So that's what we have for lesson 2 of how to play piano chords. We're actually learning how to play arpeggios, but this will help us with our chord playing. So, I hope this helps, and I'll see you in the next lesson. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to receive updates on new videos. For more free piano lessons, check out more videos on YouTube and MrHenrysMusicWorld.com.